Hey guys, I'm Heintje. In the last Friday's video I showed some of the hardest trails in Hautes Rivières and I promised to spotlight the other trails this week. I'm sure by the end of this video you'll agree with me that this is the best enduro spot close to the Netherlands. So let's roll the intro and keep to my promise. In this video I'll go over all the trails we've ridden, one by one in a non-random order, starting with La Corpia 2.0, also known as Rock La Tour. It starts with a technical section that in the past claimed a lot of tires. This time everyone in our group has put enough pressure in the tires so we could go on to the high-speed sections. This has to be one of the most fun sections in the area, a dried up creek full with chunky, loose rocks. It surprises me every time how freaking fast you can go here. Just make yourself light and bounce over it all. And then to imagine that back home you even steer around a single route on the trail. After riding this, I dare to say your bike can handle that route. A small side note to this trail, it's used a lot by hikers to get to the viewpoint at the top, so be aware you might have to slow down and say hi a couple of times. Next trail on my list, La Verte, one of the few easy rated trails. So of course, the first feature you'll encounter is a drop, about a meter high, too flat. The rest of this trail is obviously inspired by the Dutch cross-country trails. You take one feature in the landscape and you keep using it over and over and over and over and over again. Now this trail looks easy, that's probably why it's rated easy. But you can still have very sketchy moments. Take Daniel as example. At the moment he's riding behind me, but in a few moments he almost crashes. Let's watch that in super slow-mo. I have to say, nice save. The rest of this trail is hard to show. It's more of the same, a lot more, a whole lot more. It just keeps going in and out of the same ditches. I wish I could go a bit faster here. Even though I've gotten better at cornering, trails like this tell me there is still a lot to learn. All the compressions don't help me either. If only I bought a call based on the weight I am and not the weight I wish to be. Next trail is one of the best all-around trails I know, La Rumsteck. It's so good I made a full run video of it as well. I'll leave a link to that video on the end screen of this one, just in case you might be interested. For this video, let me focus on this feature. It has 3 difficulties, and this was the first time ever I took the hardest one. Although, my front wheel dropped a bit harder than expected. The next day, this one went as smooth as possible. Okay, one more feature of this line, a steep roller. That marks makes even harder for some reason. Now I want to show even more of La Rumsteck, but this video is already going to be long enough, so please, go watch the full run video if you want to see more of this trail. Did I say in my previous video that all the trails here are amazing? Well, maybe that's not entirely true for the next trail, La Racines. It starts out quite okay, the usual, some routes, a lot of rocks, nothing we haven't seen so far. But then the trail disappears, so while we search for a way down, let me use this time to tell you about my goal of reaching 1000 subscribers. I've already found over 750 people willing to press that precious button, but I'm not there yet, so please help me out here, it would mean a lot to me. By now, we found our way back to the trail, realizing how much fun this one would be if everything could be ridden. Unfortunately, it is in this state for over a year now, so be prepared for some adventure when you go for this one. For me, let's go to the next trail, Gouleyante, another diverse one. As almost all trails here, this one starts off easy and gets slowly harder. Until you get to probably the trickiest feature of the area. When you know what's coming, it's not that hard. The thing is, however, on your first run, at this point, you have no idea what's coming. It's only after you commit, you get to see the next section. And let me try to simulate the time you have to make a decision. Did you see you should go slightly to the right? If not, your best option is to stop. There's just enough room to do so. Once you know what to expect and are not overloaded with information, this feature is very doable and fun. Next highlight section of this trail is all the way at the bottom. At this point you can go straight to get to this ending, entering the bike lane at full speed, so be careful. Or better, you can go up right at the fork, giving you some more steep technical terrain, eventually leading to a safer action. Gouleyante has a deviation at the top section I didn't even know about. Apparently a pro section. So we went to check it out.
Oh, hier al.
Two rock rolls that look very doable, especially in these super dry conditions. Only this was the last run of our last day, so I was getting pretty tired and didn't want to risk it. I already conquered a lot of features this weekend, no need to risk it for one more, or two, depends on how you count these. Time for another blue rated trail, Koude Fourrée. It starts off with an off-camber route section, not very challenging in dry conditions and a bit too challenging in the wet. Next section is steep, but in a way that's not very challenging in dry conditions and a bit too challenging in wet conditions. But to make up for the beginning, the rest of this trail is so much fun. A bit of a roller coaster trail, not much to say about though, I'll just have to show it. So while I do, I can use this opportunity to tell you about my Instagram account. If you want, you can follow me over there as well to get little updates, riding clips and of course to send me messages. Now a red rated trail, not sure where it fits compared to the others. Anyway, it's called Nantanru Parlor Crête. After a short section of trail with a fallen tree, we got to the forest road. One that obviously was used recently for the deforestation, even up to the point that I was wondering if there still was a trail left. And there was. Not really knowing what to expect difficulty wise, I started a bit playful, trying alternative lines and so, only soon sticking to the main line. That one was hard enough. Ending up with a long steep section. I tried to control my speed, but slowly I was going faster. Luckily the flat part was already in sight, giving me the security that some extra speed would not be an issue anymore. If this section were to be any longer, I think it would have been really scary. I still can't really place this trail in terms of difficulty. This one feature might as well be double black or even harder. The rest of the trail is single black at most. What do you think? Next trail I want to talk about is Norgoutte, or as we like to call it, Norgoutte. And well, this is probably the least interesting trail, it has its uses. It's rated single black, although I think it should be rated blue. First you get an optional loam section. To find this, go towards Mad Max and take the trail you see on your left. After that, it gets rocky and a bit more technical. Nothing crazy though. This makes it an ideal trail to warm up on, or to take as the one more trail to get back to the car. After a long flat out middle section, the finale is the most interesting part of the trail. Time to address the trail with the iconic rock slab, La Doulphinee. I've ridden this slab now countless times, though I never stay fully in control of the bike, even in these great conditions. Although it went much better than last time. Go check out this video if you want to see the carnage in the slightly slippery conditions. In last week's video on the hardest lines, I said some trails might even have harder features than shown in that video. Well, this line has two of them. Two very similar rollers, both very steep and with little run out. I know it's already a long video and I even have skipped a few trails, La S and Les Rivières de No1, to somewhat average trail. Average for Hautes Rivières is still fucking great though. Definitely worth riding. But before I end the video, there's one more trail I have to show, La Croix de Verte. Besides the challenging top section, I'll show in a moment, the feature I loved the most was this jump at the bottom. As you might know, I love both jumps and gnarly technical trails, so to encounter a smooth jump was a very welcome surprise. Since it's a gap jump, I checked it out first, but then instantly committed. The dip before the lip made it a bit strange. On one hand, if you enter with too much speed, it turns into a drop, losing you speed. On the other hand, you can really pump it to generate the speed and pop needed. Now, while I show the top section of this line, I've come to the end of the video. I'm sure that by now you are convinced that this place is truly amazing for enduro riding. If not, feel free to tell me in the comments what this place lacks. Anyway, as always, thank you very much for watching, especially for watching all the way to this point, and hopefully a few seconds more. I hope to see you back for my next video. In the meantime, you probably know it by now, have fun riding. Houdoe.